Today we will continue with NMR. In NMR we have done principle, then instrumentation, then number of signals, then their rules, and then what is the peak area. And now comes, if we conclude peaks in NMR. In NMR spectra we get a sharp peak line for splitting as singlet, doublet, triplet, etc. we have done in earlier lecture, and in that we have done that peaks are sharp, but some peaks are not sharp and they exist as broad peaks, and these are due to the exchangeable protons, such as protons which are attached to OH group, NH2 group. These protons which are exchangeable show broad peaks. Now if we take up a very good important example, that is in ethanol. In ethanol OH group is present, that is that proton has also its signal which can interfere with the adjacent protons, and it may not interfere the neighboring protons. That depends upon whether the ethanol is pure or it is impure sample. So in ethanol, pure and impure samples show different spectra, which we take up as in pure ethanol, as the formula is CH3CH2OH. Now and thus CH3CH2OH, and this CH3 group will show its signal, that is will be upfield, and then CH2 and the OH proton will have its signal downfield. This we already done in previous lectures. Now in the CH3 group will show neighboring protons are 2, so 2 plus 1 3, so it will show a triplet, that is triplet, and triplet is here. There are 3 peaks, so these protons will show signal as a triplet because there are neighboring 2 protons, 2 plus 1 that is 3, and 3 that is triplet, so this signal is triplet. Now in CH2 group there are 3 these neighboring protons and 1 is this proton, so it has total 4 protons. 4 plus 1, it is quintet, or we get a multiplet due to 1 OH proton and these CH3 protons, so these protons will show a multiplet. Now this is shown multiplet. There are various peaks. Now this proton will show signal as a triplet because the neighboring protons to this proton is there are 2 protons, 2 plus 1 3, so this will again show a triplet. This again signal will be a triplet, that is 3 peaks. Now the peaks of this proton are smaller because it is due to only 1 proton. Now the triplet due to these protons are somewhat large because they are due to 3 protons. So in pure ethanol we get triplet due to OH protons, and of CH2 protons multiplet, and of CH3 proton we get a triplet again. Now but in impure ethanol, this is important. In impure ethanol these protons, OH proton show its independent signal and it does not interfere with these protons, that is, and these protons do not interfere with this, so this proton show its independent signal, that is single peaks, that is as a singlet, will show a singlet due to its own signal. Now these protons will show a again triplet due to neighboring two protons, 2 plus 1 3, that is these will show a triplet. And now this protons, due to these protons, will show a quartet. So this will show a quartet because neighboring 3 protons are present, 3 plus 1, that is 4. So these protons will show a quartet. There are 4 peaks, and this will show a singlet, that is this. Now this protons in impure sample due to acidic or basic medium, these protons are exchangeable, and these are so fastly changing that this do not interferes with neighboring protons. So this OH signal is a singlet in a impure sample due to the rapid exchange of this proton. So this is very important. In pure sample there are a different type of signals, but in impure sample there is a different type of signals. So both are important. So next is, we can here again compare these two. This is, you can easily identify, this is due to the pure sample and this is due to the impure sample. So these peaks are shown. So next is, what is coupling constant? Coupling constant is denoted by J. Coupling constant is a distance between two adjacent peaks of a split NMR signal, that is two adjacent peaks of a multiplet. So it is a distance between two adjacent peaks of a multiplet. Multiplet means one signal. So if it is a doublet, suppose it is a signal of a doublet, so between these two peaks the distance is called coupling constant. Similarly in this signal, that is, it is a signal of triplet, in this the distance between any two peaks is a coupling constant. Similarly in this signal of quartet, the distance between any two peaks is same and it is the coupling constant, and it generally falls between 0 to 18 Hertz. If we take a typical coupling constant, same is it's shown in case of quartet and this in the case of triplet, and it is a distance J measured in Hertz between the peaks in a multiplet, and is a measure of a amount of interaction between the two sets of protons, hydrogens, creating the multiplet. So we have done what is coupling constant. Now coupling constant is different in different type of protons. So if we say the protons are vicinal protons, then there is a vicinal coupling. Vicinal protons means the protons which are present at the adjacent carbons, they are called the vicinal protons. Now if we view them like this, that is two carbons are one after the another, in this these two protons are the vicinal protons, and the angle between these two protons, that is alpha, is maybe it's not fixed because the single rotation is possible. So it is, coupling is maximum when alpha is 0, that is when they both will be coinciding, then the angle will be 0, and when they are maximum distance apart, then at the it's about at 60 degree, and coupling is maximum when alpha is 0 and 180 degree, and it is minimum when alpha is 90 degree. So in vicinal coupling, the hydrogens present at the adjacent carbons. For this, the coupling constant value will be discussed later. Similarly, the geminal coupling is the non-equivalent protons on the same carbon will couple and cause signal splitting. This type of coupling is called geminal coupling, that is these two protons which are attached to a carbon double bonded atoms, these are the geminal protons, and it is the protons attached to the same carbon. In vicinal they are attached to the adjacent carbons, but in geminal the protons are attached to the same carbon, then there is a gem. There are some typical coupling constants, that is, if there is a free rotation, that is, these are the vicinal hydrogens, it is around 7 Hertz, and in these hydrogens which are cis to each other, there is around coupling constant is 10 Hertz. For this, which are trans hydrogens, there is around 15 Hertz, and in geminal hydrogens it is around 2 Hertz. So by knowing the coupling constant, we can easily judge whether they are cis, whether they are trans, whether they are vicinal, or whether they are geminal hydrogens. And in the ring, when they are at orthoposition to each other, then approximately 8 Hertz, and when they are meta hydrogens, then there is a 2 Hertz, and for these allylic hydrogens, then there is a 6 Hertz. So different types of protons have different values of coupling constants. Now comes the applications of PMR spectroscopy. As we have already done in detail NMR, in this we have taken up mainly proton. So this is proton magnetic resonance spectroscopy, and in this we can easily now tell what information we have. According to that, we can easily identify these substances, we can determine their molecular structure, and we can qualitative analysis can be done. That is, NMR spectrum helps to establish the presence or absence of functional groups of other characteristic structural features in different substances. That is, different types of functional groups can also easily be identified, and by this we can know the rate of reactions of various reactions. So this are the main applications of PMR spectroscopy. So now for numericals, we have to memorize some values which we will further use in the numericals. That is, protons on a saturated carbon observed in a region of 0.9 to 1.5 Hertz. Delta value is 0.9 to 1.5 ppm, and protons on saturated carbon which is attached to hetero or unsaturated carbon absorbed in the region 1.5 to 4.5 ppm. Now in acetylenic protons, absorption is at 2 to 3 delta value, and in olefinic protons 4 to 5 value. Then for aromatic protons, the delta value for protons is 6 to 8.5 ppm, and in alcohol hydroxyl protons, OH absorb at 1 to 5.5 ppm, and for aldehyde proton value is 9 to 10 ppm, and for carboxylic protons, value of this proton absorb at 10.5 to 12 ppm. So by knowing these values, by memorizing these values, we can easily solve the numericals of NMR spectroscopy, which we will take up in further lectures. So thank you.